Well, sometimes in professional sports, their team rolls out a clunker, and that's what happened tonight at T-Mobile Park. The Mariners rolled their clunker out in Game 3 of the ALCS against the Blue Jays and lost it 13-4. Just a lot of offense from the Toronto Blue Jays tonight. The Mariners, not so much, although this game started just fine for the Mariners. Julio Rodriguez stepped in the first inning and hammered a two-run homer to left field, and just like that, it's 2-0, and George Kirby has a nice little lead to work with. But when he comes out, boy, it really goes south for the Mariners. George Springer, 3 hits in the game. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. goes 4 for 4 in this game, and then Alejandro Kirk had 2 hits and a home run. Again, this was just an onslaught from Toronto that fans haven't been used to seeing in this series. Remember, the Blue Jays came back here in May, Mother's Day weekend, and swept the Mariners in 3 games, outscoring them 21-7. So this team's very familiar with success that they've had across the street at T-Mobile Park. But again, it didn't happen tonight for the Mariners. This series is now 2-1 Seattle going into Game 4 tomorrow. Luis Castillo set to make the start in that one. But again, this is a team that had the Blue Jays kind of right where they wanted them, and had a chance to just step on their throats tonight and go up 3-0 in the series. But Toronto has an awfully good lineup. When you look at the lineup that the Blue Jays trot out there each night, they got guys like Springer, Guerrero Jr., Alejandro Kirk, Varsho. These guys come right out, and you're like, how come they didn't hit in the first 2 games? Well, tonight you saw that they were a little bit angry, and they came into Seattle angry, and they got the job done. They had 18 hits total, the Blue Jays did, to go with their 13 runs. And Shane Bieber, he took the mound tonight and got the start for the Blue Jays. And as shaky as he was in that first inning, giving up the 2-run blast to Julio, man, did he settle down. 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, and 8 strikeouts. And when he left the game, he was fired up. Now, that's the pitcher of old, Shane Bieber, getting the job done tonight in his start for the Blue Jays. And on the flip side, George Kirby comes out and, had some success in past playoff games. This was his 3rd playoff start this postseason, and just didn't have that kind of luck tonight. He had 4 innings pitched, 8 runs, 8 hits, 2 walks, and 4 Ks. The Blue Jays really got after him early on. They gave up, Kirby gave up 5 runs in the 3rd inning, and then it all, again, went bad for him. So, again, Kirby lasting just 4 innings tonight, and the Mariners can't get the job done as they lose it 13-4. Let's head out to T-Mobile Park, and Madeline Carter joins us. Madeline?
Paul, you can hear the screaming behind me. The atmosphere out here, there's still a lot of energy tonight despite this loss and, of course, the game not going the way that Mariners fans had hoped for. One thing remains the same regardless of this outcome. The Seattle Mariners are still in the driver's seat, just 2 wins away from the World Series. Take a look at this crowd. There are still cheers. People are just rooting for their team, not letting their hope die because of what happened in there tonight. And I was just chatting with a fan, EJ. He's 23 years old, huge Mariners fan. EJ, can you just talk to me about what you witnessed inside T-Mobile tonight?
Oh man, the crowd was electric. After that Julio tee-off, we were just going. There's a reason they call it the Electric Factory. All the fans, Dan Wilson said it best. We're just like the 10th man out there. It really is something special to grow up watching them and to be a part of this sold-out crowd for T-Mobile Park. Absolutely.
Now, we, of course, saw the Blue Jays offense come alive tonight. Do you think that the Mariners pitching can handle this tomorrow night?
Absolutely. There's a reason they say bullpens win playoff games, and with our starters and bullpens on fresh rest, I got no doubt with The Rock, baby. Come on, he's going to do it for us.
Do you believe Game 4 is a must-win for the Mariners? Why or why not?
Maybe not a must-win, especially with the next home game, but I definitely think with the momentum and how this series is going to match up, I really think we have to win tomorrow.
Of course, I have to ask you this, EJ. We are so close, we can almost taste the World Series. What would it mean to you if the Seattle Mariners can punch their ticket?
Oh man, I'm just picturing that 6-year-old kid in my mind that went to his first Mariner game, what it would mean to him, what it would mean to 23-year-old EJ. Wow, it would mean something special. I have yet to experience anything like this in my life, and I'm so grateful that here I am right now talking to you. look at this. Look at this. It's amazing. I can't believe, smiling through it all, can't believe this is my life.
It is amazing, EJ. Soak it all in. We are all soaking in the Mariners' push to make history. And of course, we're going to be talking to more fans out here tonight. Paul, going to send it back out to you. The energy is still very high.
All right, thank you, Madeline. The Mariners fans have a quiet confidence about themselves. They know that this is only the third game, and they still have a 2-1 series lead in this one. Here's Dan Wilson after the game.
Start with Ryan on your right, Dan.
Dan, obviously not what you wanted to see from George. Can you walk us through what you were seeing from him, and when did you think you needed to pull the string on it, and do you regret not going earlier?
I think, I thought it came out one of the best fastballs we've seen the first couple innings. I thought the way it was coming out of his hand, he looked great. And then, they were able to get to some pitches on the plate a little bit and in that third inning. And then, it was, I think it was 4 2-out runs there at that point, and trying to, get him through that and because he was throwing the ball so well. This is a team that has swung the bat well all year, and they didn't miss much tonight, and they were able to get to him.
Other questions for Dan? Yeah, Daniel.
Dan, we saw Brian go out to the bullpen in the third inning. Under what circumstances were you considering going to him?
I think, a good chance for him tonight to just get out there and get acclimated in case that's a place where he comes out of, later in the series. And so, a chance to just get comfortable out there and see what it's like. So that's really what it was about tonight for Brian.
First row on your left, Dan. Adam.
It looked like the Blue Jays were aggressive with George early. What did you notice in their approach?
Yeah, again, the first couple innings, I thought he was dynamite and really came out at good location and good heaters coming out of his hand and was able to, keep him in check. And then, this is a team that's going to hurt you if you make mistakes on the plate. It looked like there were a couple that they were able to get to, and really that's where it was at that point. Our guys, we get ahead. That's what we do, and they'll continue to do that. But you still have to make good quality pitches, and there were some that caught a little bit of plate. But I thought again, the way he looked early on, I thought we were in good shape.
Third row, right center, Annie.
Julio gets the homer early, but then Bieber really settles down there. What did you see from him in those middle innings, and did you see any adjustment he made?
Yeah, I think again, it's Julio getting a pretty good pitch to hit there in that first inning, and I thought he did a really good job of driving that ball on the line. And then I thought, as good pitchers do, they get a little bit more comfortable. They get settled in. Their command comes back. Their stuff comes to him a little bit, and looked like he just was able to get comfortable, get into a bit of a rhythm, and find his secondaries. And once that happened, they were able to get the lead, and then he was able to protect it.
Third row on your far left, Dan.
Victor made that catch in the stands in the right field in the third inning and was shaking off his arm a few times and kind of reminded me of the injury in April. Was it just a stinger? Was he okay?
Yeah, I think he was all right. That's the kind of effort Vic gives, and that's what you're going to see, especially this time of year. He's going to continue to go all out, and you're right. It was sort of reminiscent of that play down in San Francisco, great effort on his part to make that play.
Third row in the middle, Dan.
Dan, just obviously you have a wave of emotion and momentum coming into this game, and then they put 13 runs on you, and you have a team that's bounced back a lot of times this season. But is there a message for that group, or do you just have the confidence that they know what they're doing and they're going to do that again?
Again, this is a team that has done this a lot this year in terms of bouncing back, being resilient. We've used a lot of words for it, but tomorrow's going to be that opportunity again for us, and these guys know how to prepare and be ready for that. And I don't expect it's going to be an issue for them at all. This is a team that has proven over and over again that fighting back, bouncing back. Having resiliency is a part of their DNA, and tomorrow's a chance to do that again.
We'll stay there with Tyler.
Yeah, after the 5 spot in the third inning, is any part of your calculation like you don't want to overuse your bullpen? Because as it turns out now, you got like your 4 best relievers didn't pitch tonight, so they're rested. Do you just want to sort of get George to take down more innings at that point?
I mean, I thought he came out, got a couple outs there in the fifth, or whether it was the fourth, I think, and looked like he was in better shape. The home run to Springer there with 2 outs. You understand that there's going to be some solo shots here and there, but again, I thought he was throwing the ball pretty well, and then came out for the fifth, and it was time, I think, at that point to go to the bullpen.
Do a couple last ones up front on your left.
Dan Polo being lifted, was that just to give him rest at that point in the game, or is he all good?
Yeah, no, he's fine. Yeah, just a chance to get off his feet and give Leo a chance to get in that bat.
Anything else for Dan? All right, Dan, thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it.
You hear Dan talking about the bullpen, and the Mariners going into this one, their bullpen was on fire. 18 straight scoreless innings going into tonight's Game 3. They were in complete control of the operation in the first 2 games of the series. But again, tonight, things just fell apart. They used 3 different relievers tonight, and just nothing could stop the bleeding and the pounding they were taking from those Blue Jays bats. 13-4 the final. Blue Jays back in the series down 2-1. Let's head back out to T-Mobile Park now for Madeline Carter. Madeline?
Paul, it is getting louder and louder by the minute. I mean, we got a bunch of music happening behind us. Take a look at this. We got a live band. They, of course, just stopped for the moment, but there's a lot of cheers, a lot of fans out here keeping the hope alive tonight.
It ain't over. It ain't over. Game 4, we got this.
Is Game 4 a must-win for the Mariners?
No, it's not a must-win. It's not a must-win.
Tell me, can you describe this atmosphere out here right now tonight?
It feels so good. It feels so good. It's just one loss, you know.
We gotta make it. We gotta make it. How are you guys feeling tonight? I've been watching you dance and sing.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
You've been dancing and singing despite the loss. How are you feeling about what you witnessed in there?
I made that song because it's like this city, I think it inspires people. It inspires artists, it inspires like artists of all kinds, cooks, photographers, musicians. And I think the Seattle Freeze is it's an absolute joke. I think the Seattle Freeze is an absolute joke.
Listen, no Seattle Freeze, and that's what happens on live TV. Energy's still high out here, everybody. Take a look at this, singing and dancing, trying to keep this crowd hyped up, getting us ready for the remainder of the American League Championship Series. That is how we do it out here, Paul. Keeping the energy alive.
What are you going to do, man? It's just one game. It's just one game. It was a clunker. It was a 13-4 clunker, but the Mariners still lead this series 2-1. They have 2 more at home, and hopefully they can wrap this thing up on Friday and not have to send the troops back to Toronto. But right now, you just got to just let this thing go and get ready for tomorrow night. That's for sure. Here is John Schneider, manager of the Blue Jays.
John.
Hey, John, at least for now, does the Andres home run have the feeling of a series-changing home run for you guys?
It's a big swing, you know. I think, yeah. You know, I mean, again, we're focused on tonight, and tomorrow we'll focus on tomorrow. But, yeah, you know, I think just kind of, you know, I said it during the game, kind of in that situation, runner at second, nobody out, taking a shot, you know, and trying to be aggressive on Kirby's fastball. So you never know how the game's going to go. You never know who it's going to be, right? But really, really big swing to get us going, and then kind of on down the line that inning. But yeah, man, that was a big swing from Andres.
Second row on your left, John. Mike.
John, 3 of the first 4 hitters walk, homer, double, and some really loud contact against Bieber there. What changed that he was able to do what he did after the Polanco double?
I think just he was Shane, you know. I think probably a little amped up coming out in the first, and then, you know, just kind of an arm side miss to Julio, and first pitch breaking ball to Polanco. He navigated that situation. But to me, biggest inning of the game was the second. He strikes out the side, kind of keeps the game in check a little bit. And then he had really good command. You know, his fastball, he spotted it. The breaking balls were awesome, slider especially, changeup too. I thought that he got into a really good rhythm, retired a bunch in a row there. But the second inning to kind of keep the game where it should be, that's just a sign of a veteran pitcher.
But as big as the second inning was, he wasn't able to get a shutdown inning in his last start against the Yankees either time. So how big was the third?
Yeah, third, fifth. I mean, they're all big, but I think, again, I've said it a lot. It's why you acquire a guy like Shane, and you just see how he is. He was making big pitches, It's a big pitch to Cal for the strikeout too. It's fun to watch guys like that work, and it was exactly what we needed tonight.
We can stay there with Gregor.
John, it seems like this season, whenever people have really started to doubt you guys, whether it's regular season, playoffs, you guys have responded with an awful lot of fight. How much satisfaction do you guys kind of take in the room of kind of proving people wrong like that?
Yeah, it's kind of been what we did all year, Again, no one expected us to win the division. No one expected us to be here, and I think the guys take that to heart. And I couldn't be prouder of the way they came about today, or the way they went about today, right? We talked before the game about normalcy. And it's one thing to say it and force it, but it's another thing to do it and live it. So I'm proud of the way they did it. And there's some adjustments you have to make as you go. Again, it's a 7-game series. It's not a 1-game series, not a 3-game series. So there's going to be adjustments we need to make tomorrow, and they're going to be ready for it.
Up front of your right, John, Ryan.
John, you said it on the broadcast, and you said it earlier, just be ready to hit the fastball. Mm-hmm. Given how much Kirby is almost obsessive trying to get ahead, I mean, were you going up? Was that kind of the pre-game meeting, like, hey, look for the fastball early because he's going to try and get ahead, especially if he misses first pitch?
Yeah, a little bit. It's tough because, after the first 2 games, that's been our plan with all these guys. These guys are very similar, and they all have really good stuff. So it kind of comes down to quality of contact, which, we had today. We don't want to deviate from what we've been doing. And, if you take away the fastball, you could see where he kind of went to the slider heavy. Vlad kind of sat on one, hits it out to center. I just thought we executed a really good game plan and approach against him, knowing that he's gonna come right after you. And it's a difference between trying to just put the ball in play and trying to do some damage. So that was the adjustment we were shooting for today.
Third row on your left, John.
All 3 games, the batters have been very aggressive, especially with tonight. Kirby, he's going to be around the plate, doesn't walk many. But what switched? What was different about this game? Because you were aggressive in all 3.
5 homers, for one. I think that stands out. But it's a sign of a good process. It's a sign of adjustments that are being made, And I'll trust Pop and Lou and Hunter to do that 365 days out of the year with our guys, and then for our guys to go do that. So the approach didn't really change. I think the result changed, really. We were trying to, I said it before the game, beat him to the spot on certain pitches. And you have to make adjustments as you see fit as you go. But I thought we just stayed pretty relentless on Kirby and then had some big add-on runs late.
And how big was that, even in a blowout, for Addison to get that first knock?
Yeah, it's awesome, man. He's I said it before the game, man. He carried us for about 3 weeks or so this year, and he's a first-year big leaguer, first full-year big leaguer, and he's going to go through ups and downs. So that was hopefully a little bit of a exhale, I mean, he flushed that pretty good. So it was nice for him. It's nice for Hemi. It's nice for Varsh, Kirky. Yeah, I mean, we're built around George and Vlad and them doing that, but I think those other guys to kind of, Ernie continuing to swing it and guys just not being afraid to take some shots. That's the biggest thing. And if you're grinding and, you're a young guy, not being afraid to continue to be who you are. I've been saying it all year, be who you are. And for Addy, it's taking swings like that.
Standing on that side, Shai.
John, that third inning, when after the Clement double, when Jimenez comes up, that's a spot where a lot of times this year you guys have bunted and played for the one run there. Can you just describe sort of not going that and not using that approach in that spot and then playing for a bigger swing?
Yeah, I mean, we're down 2, you know what I mean? So to me, at that point, you're not trying to play catch up one at a time, and I think it goes back to what we talked about yesterday, what we talked about before the game today, where it doesn't matter who it is. We have really good hitters, and we have guys that have been in the postseason and that know what the hell's going on. So I think for Hemi right there, I love the fact that he didn't try to just play ping pong and get a guy over. It was really refreshing. Going back to your question, yeah, it's a big swing because it's what we're trying to do. You know what I mean? We're trying to make adjustments as to what they're doing to us. So In that situation, down 2, I trust him to handle the bat at the very least and at least get Ernie over. But I love the intent in which he swung with.
It's about 3 weeks ago, John, that you guys were in another dry spell, and then Varsho hits that grand slam against the Red Sox, and floodgates open a little bit offensively. Did you see potentially some parallels between that Himmy swing and that spot as well?
I hope so. I said it when we were leaving Toronto. I hope we find some slug in the air out here. Maybe we did, but we're taking it one game at a time, really. And I think that I'm really happy with the way we played today and the way we executed a game plan, and we're going to have to do it again tomorrow. You know what I mean? It's just one day at a time right now. So hopefully it does. Hopefully it gives us some momentum. This team has played us really well over the course of the time that I've been here in this seat, and to break through a little bit feels good. You know what I mean? And to have the guys be convicted in an approach and to see it come to kind of fruition, I think can be pretty valid going in tomorrow, but it's a whole new test tomorrow against Castillo.
Do 2 last ones, Annie, and you're right.
You mentioned Shane's slider. What about that pitch makes it so effective? And he threw it a lot today too. Is anything that went into that?
I think part of it is game plan against their lineup. Part of it is just the fact that if he commands it, it's really good. And I think that him and Kirky did a really good job of pairing. When you look back to his start against New York, his cutter was kind of non-existent. He didn't really get to it. So I think pairing that with the slider led to some swing and miss. Ends up with 8 strikeouts. But when it's on, even going back to his first outing with us against Miami, that's what you saw. It's strike to ball. And I just think he executed it at a really, really high rate today.
We'll finish up with Mike in the second.
Well, we talked about George Kirby and the start he had tonight. 4 innings, 8 runs, 8 hits. He gave up 5 runs in the third, and that really was the problem there. You heard Schneider say they had 5 home runs. Mariners added 3. And so 8 home runs total. I should tell you, the Mariners and Blue Jays tied an MLB record with the combined 8 home runs in the ALCS Game 3. It only happened 2 other times in Major League history. So 8 home runs between them tonight. Unfortunately, 5 came at the expense of the Mariners. Here's George Kirby.
Yeah, I definitely came out the way I wanted to. Yeah, I kind of just I wasn't really executing when they got the guys on base, and they were really aggressive when that happened. So they made some good swings. I wasn't really making a lot of good pitches there in the third and the fourth, but yeah.
Is that something specific out of the stretch, or just more general?
No, I don't think so. I was just trying to be really cute with it, and some sliders just kind of leaked over the middle, or missed a heater to Jimenez there. Tried to go up, just threw it down. But it's all right. I'll next time I'm out there, I'll fix that. So.
You know who these guys are? They are aggressive. They do put the ball in play a lot too. Just how does that figure into maybe your game plan? Who you are? You're gonna attack. You're gonna get ahead, right?
Yeah. It's I'm never gonna stray away from what I do well. Is get ahead and be in the zone. But they had a lot of comfortable bats tonight, so maybe just throw it inside a little more, get them off for something, or maybe a different look for first pitch. But yeah.
George, when you're in a spot like that, what's sort of your keys to your personal key, I guess, to get everything back under control?
Yeah, just kind of constantly reminding myself that I'm in control, and not trying to let any of those at-bats bother me. Just take a deep breath. I'm the only one that can throw the ball off the mound in this game, so I gotta control what I can control, and they just started rolling up some hits. But you just collect yourself, deep breath, and attack the next guy. The hit before doesn't matter, and that'll always be my approach to it. So.
It's a long series, George. Just your confidence level in this group, in this clubhouse, obviously.
Yeah, coming out hot, getting 2 in Toronto was huge, and then 1 loss doesn't discourage us. No one said it was gonna be easy. Losses are part of the game, and we're gonna come back tomorrow, ready to hit, ready to pitch, and ready for Game 4.
You know, you listen to George Kirby talk, and we've seen Mariners pitchers throughout the summer struggle in a start and then come back on fire, maybe a little bit angry, and then in that next start they dial it in, they really throw well. So hopefully that's the case for George Kirby after what he would probably consider a tough one tonight against the Blue Jays. Again, 13-4 the final. Let's head out to T-Mobile Park right now, and Madeline Carter one more time. Madeline?
Paul, this party just keeps getting louder and louder, even though more and more fans are leaving the stadium. Look at this. How are you feeling tonight? How are you feeling?
Let's go, Mariners! I love the Mariners! Let's go!
The flame is not out.
Big number! We believe! We believe!
We still believe. How are you feeling, young man? Are you excited? Oh, I think he's excited. All right, everybody. Okay, so we've got the tale of two different things. We've got the Mariners here. We've got Blue Jays fans over here. You see, the Mariners still have energy, but you guys are coming off of that amazing win. How are you feeling?
We're feeling great. We were due. We're due for a win. Yes. Yeah.
Listen, this has just been a wild series so far. What was it like to witness your team scoring all those runs?
Oh my gosh, so lucky. It feels so good that the Toronto Blue Jays are here against the Mariners. It's a great team to be against, and we're just looking for all full 7 games.
Honestly, that's the kind of energy that we need out here tonight. We've got positive energy from both, of course, the Blue Jays after the big win, and also the Mariners. Not letting one loss set them back. One factor remains the same, Paul. We've been saying it all night. The Mariners are still 2 wins away from punching their ticket to the World Series for the first time in franchise history. It's a party out there.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing for the players and the fans to keep in mind. Still just 2 wins away from that first ever World Series. Thank you, Madeline. Let's see if they can bounce back tomorrow night here at T-Mobile Park. Luis Castillo will start Game 4 for the Mariners. 6 innings thrown in the postseason. He hasn't given up any runs. Down the stretch, he won 4 of 5 starts. So we saw him pitch, knew he was throwing the ball much better than earlier in the summer. Here's what's been working the last month and a half.
Siempre yo lo he dicho.
Hey, I've always said it, long season in baseball, there's highs and lows. You always have to go out there, keep your head up, and just wait for those good moments to come. To me, it came at, a right time just because, I knew it was an important part, needed to happen. And for me, it was just kind of a start, of something good to come.
Luis Castillo definitely rested and ready to go. Veteran right-hander Max Scherzer throws for the Blue Jays in Game 4. He's won 7 games in 25 career postseason starts. He hasn't pitched since September 24th and is feeling a little better with some downtime.
It's always kind of individualized. There's until you're actually in postseason play and experience it, you have to know how to handle it yourself. I mean, you can only hear so much advice from somebody else. I mean, for me, early in my career, I thought I got bad advice. Somebody tried to tell me to stay calm. Yeah, I'm not going to stay calm. That's not good advice for me. And so, I've learned it throughout my career. No, you got to kind of match the moment. You got to know who you are. You know who you are when you go out there, and match that type of moment with your adrenaline. So that's how I go out there and pitch. That's how I handle it. And so, looking forward to get out there tomorrow and do that.
Max Scherzer has definitely had his struggles in recent months, and the guy's 41 years old, so I don't know what he's got left in the tank, but the Blue Jays are going to need everything he's got tomorrow night in Game 4. It'll be the Blue Jays going against the Mariners and Luis Castillo at T-Mobile Park. The Mariners hoping to get that one to get up 3-1. The Blue Jays hoping to even this series and make it a best of 3. So we'll see what happens tomorrow night at T-Mobile Park. Thank you for joining us here on King 5 Plus for the Mariners postgame show. I'm Paul Sylvie. We'll see you tomorrow night.